Hello and welcome to today's lesson where we're looking at the self-efficacy theory of motivation. Have you ever wondered why some people work really hard while others do the minimum they think they can get away with? Well, the self-efficacy theory of motivation tries to explain why this might be, and it's backed up by studies showing that self-efficacy is a strong predictor of high performance. So what is self-efficacy? Well, it's the belief that you are capable of achieving a specific goal or performing a particular task. Self-efficacy is task specific. So for example, if your boss asked you to manage a simple project, then you might feel confident in your ability to complete that task. But if your boss asked you to pilot a Boeing 787 Dreamliner, then you probably wouldn't feel confident at all. Now, self-efficacy isn't general. It's not about being good at your job in a broad sense, or believing you're a good manager, or believing you're intelligent. These are more general beliefs, and self-efficacy is very specific. So take a look at the diagram. As you can see here, the higher your self-efficacy, the more you will believe that you are capable of achieving a task or goal. Conversely, the lower your self-efficacy, the less you will believe you are capable of performing a task. So why is this important to motivation? Well, because people are less likely to give a task their full effort if their self-efficacy is low for that task. Another way to think about this is, why would you even bother to give a task your maximum effort if you didn't think you could do it anyway? Now, Albert Bandura developed the self-efficacy theory of motivation, and he was born in 1925 and is a Canadian psychologist, and he described the theory in his book Self-Efficacy, the Exercise of Control. According to the model, there are 4 factors that determine self-efficacy and in turn our performance for a task. So the factors are, firstly, experience. And this refers to your past experience of completing similar tasks. And in fact, this is the most important factor in the theory. So what this means is that if you performed a similar task well in the past, then you were more likely to be confident that you can complete similar tasks well in the future. Next, we have vicarious experience. You can develop self-efficacy vicariously by watching other people perform the task. So if you watch someone similar to you perform a task and they succeed, then your self-efficacy will increase. Counter to that, if you watch someone similar to you perform a task but they fail, then this can negatively affect your self-efficacy. The third factor is social persuasion. You can increase your self-efficacy if others give you encouragement that you can perform a task. Likewise, your self-efficacy will decrease if you receive discouraging or disparaging remarks about your ability to perform a task. And the final factor is physiological feedback. When confronted with a task, you experience a sensation from your body. How you interpret these signals will impact your self-efficacy. So, for example, say you're due to perform a presentation to a large group of people. You might experience butterflies in your stomach. But how do you interpret that feeling? Well, if you interpret it as being excited to get onto the stage, that's going to increase your self-efficacy. But if you experience these butterflies as stage fright or anxiety, then that's going to decrease your self-efficacy for this kind of task and similar tasks. Now, in general, the more at ease you are with a particular type of task, the higher your self-efficacy for that type of task will be. So how do we go about using the model to increase our self-efficacy? Well, there are 4 approaches we can take based on the 4 factors we've just looked at. And by the way, if you're a manager, you can also use these approaches to help build a team member's self-efficacy. So the first approach is to master tasks. So to begin increasing your self-efficacy for a particular task, start setting realistic but challenging goals based on where you are right now. Then, when you succeed with that goal, build on it by setting a slightly more challenging goal. Over time, the hope is that these accomplishments will grow to build you a high self-efficacy for that type of task. So, for example, suppose right now you are terrified of public speaking. You could begin building your self-efficacy by merely attending a public speaking meeting in a safe environment outside of the workplace, something like Toastmasters, for example. Now, over time, you might start to speak at these events and your self-efficacy will begin to grow. And once your self-efficacy is high enough, you will eventually feel confident enough that you can transfer your newfound speaking prowess back into the more pressurized environment of the workplace. The second approach is to model behavior. So this means find role models to observe who have a high self-efficacy in the area or skill where you're looking to build your own self-efficacy. Now, these role models can be a powerful motivating force, especially if they have also built their self-efficacy from a similar position to where yours is right now. The third approach is social persuasion. Now, while modeling behavior is about observing others directly who have achieved a high self-efficacy, social persuasion is about finding mentors or coaches. These are people who will work directly with you to build your self-efficacy step by step. As they have themselves been there and done that, they can help lead you to a high self-efficacy more quickly than you could achieve under your own initiative. And the final approach is to improve your emotional state. We all interpret our past experiences and we all interpret the sensations coming from our bodies. Sometimes we can misinterpret this information. So suppose you get nervous before giving a presentation. Now, this feeling is perfectly natural, but suppose we believe that we're bad at performing presentations. The feeling is so strong, it affects our performance in our presentation. Now, that's obviously bad. And because of our poor performance in our last presentation, we further believe in our mind that we're no good at presentations. Thus, we get even more nervous the next time we have to do one. But it's not that we're actually bad at presentations, it's just that we have interpreted the signals wrong. If we could learn over time to interpret these signals positively, we could improve our self-efficacy around doing presentations significantly. So, a note of caution. Now, most people can benefit from increasing their self-efficacy around tasks necessary to their jobs. However, sometimes having a high self-efficacy has disadvantages. And in fact, very high levels of self-efficacy can result in, firstly, overconfidence in your ability, and secondly, reduced performance. So, meaning you believe in your abilities so much that you don't put in the necessary effort level. So, in summary, the self-efficacy theory of motivation is a way to explain motivation. Studies have shown that self-efficacy, or rather a high self-efficacy, is a strong predictor of high performance. By increasing your self-efficacy or that of a team members, we can raise our confidence and performance, or the confidence and performance of one of our team members. Now, as we've discussed, there are 4 factors that affect self-efficacy, and those are experience, vicarious experience, social persuasion, and physiological feedback. So that's it for this lesson. Really hope you enjoyed it, and I look forward to speaking to you again soon.